All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Golden Dunkers Live. I'm your host, Kendal Shell. Today, dope guest today, we have Akeem Springs. Akeem, what's going on, bro?
How y'all doing? What's going on, Gophers?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we got Akeem checking in from Chicago today. Born and raised, right?
Right.
Yes, sir. So back in the shy. I know Akeem. When was the last time you remember you were on Golden Dunkers Live? I think right after you finished, or you was at? You remember?
I actually think that might have been um like 2 years ago. Actually, 2 years ago. Yeah, right when it got started. But I know I was playing pro already, so I think it was like 2 years after I finished.
That's
Honestly,
what's up. That's what's
yeah,
up. Well, I know you were playing pro already, man, but I guess give everybody just a quick update. Since that time, I know it's tough. We were just talking about how like time has been crazy these last few years, but try to give
yeah.
everybody an update on what's been going on since that last check-in.
So since the last check-in, I took a couple contracts, and they were cool. But for me, man, since the Gophers, like right after the Gophers season, when I played for the Gophers, I had that Achilles injury that ended my season. So I played 2 years G League after that, and I think I got on the Golden Dunkers right after those two seasons. But after that, I felt like I never got healthy for real, for real. So it's like, man, and that's right when COVID and stuff started happening. So that was actually kind of beneficial for me because I just took it as go and get all the way healthy. And I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, we're gonna work, and I just set a good training plan to just work on getting healthy. And I saw other players around the NBA and just around basketball that came off an Achilles and had another injury. And for me, I said maybe you need a little bit more time. So since then, man, just been working, grinding, training, training. Um, and then I just came back from a gig in Mexico. I played in the Ciba Copa League in Mexico. Great opportunity for me to just get back going, get some film right before this summer. We got some stuff, some NBA stuff we've been working on with my agent. And I'm just excited to go back towards the G League. And I really believe that I'm an NBA player. I believe that I can help an NBA team doing what I did for the Gophers. You feel me? Three and
yeah,
D guy, but I feel like I've expanded my game now. Um, but I feel like I can help an NBA organization like that. So that's what we're working on right now. But my gig in Mexico was good for me. Short notice after being out so long, short notice, but man, I was ready, and I was happy that I was ready. Went over there, played for Coach Henry Bibby. That's Mike Bibby dad. Played for the Detroit Pistons. Coach for the Detroit Pistons. I forgot who he played for in the NBA. That was a while ago though. But Henry Bibby, great man, great relationship with him. He was hard on me. I told him when I got there, I'm like, Coach, I'm here to get better, and he was hard on me. Every defensive mistake, helping me. I was more transitioning to develop my point guard skills. Just so I want to be able to offer that. He was big on me, just helping me with that stuff. So man, it was a great opportunity for me. Great opportunity to get some updated film to show teams I'm healthy. As a professional, if you haven't played in a while, they try to mess with your numbers a little bit as
right.
far as what they pay you. So it was good for me to go get some good film real fast. Yeah.
That's what's up. No, how does that feel mentally though? Coming back from something like that, like I don't know. I'm about the same age. You around the same age, and like right now,
Mm-hmm.
body feel crazy. I recently got hurt at Lifetime, and I'm scared to come back. So like for
Right.
you, bro, like, really like such a big injury, but like coming back to play at the highest level, right? NBA aspirations, like mentally, where
Right.
are you? How does that feel?
Um. It it's interesting, and it's a blessing for me, man, because it kind of birthed my business. My business is nothing but work, and it's all about resiliency. And it's
Mm-hmm.
something that was born from that situation at Minnesota. I remember when I got hurt, um, we're about to play Michigan. We're walking back. I'm on my crutches the day after we play. It's the day after we beat Michigan State. We're about to play Michigan. I'm walking to the locker room before the game, and Coach P come up to me, Patino, and he's there. He's like, "How are you? Okay?" And because he knows, man, I was sleeping in the gym that year, man, literally sleeping in the locker room. So he came to me. He like, "How are you? Okay?" And I didn't really answer that question. I just looked at him and smiled. But it's that resiliency, and I think that's what had kept me going then, because I don't even think I understood how big of an injury I suffered.
Right.
Because in my mind, I'm just like, it's on to the next. Okay, all right, we got to go to rehab, back to it. So now seeing where I am now, how I've grown, the opportunities I've been able to have, and what I'm getting ready for, it's man, it's just a testament to my message, the nothing but work message, man. It's a testament to resiliency. It's a testament to all the coaches I've had over the years that have been hard on me, and all the things that I've dealt with. I think it just speaks to that.
Yeah, no, that's what's up, man. I mean, getting through that, I know everybody remember that when you got injured though, because you was going crazy. You were definitely going crazy
Listen, man,
doing
we played
that.
we played Middle Tennessee. I'm a shooter. I was a 3-point shooter for the team. We played Middle Tennessee that played a zone. Stop playing the team. They played
Yeah,
a zone. I'm like, nah. And for me, that was kind of full circle because we played back in Milwaukee. I
Middle
just
Tennessee.
came from Milwaukee,
Uh huh.
and so coming back, like I'm like, we going back to Milwaukee, and I can't play. I'm like, man. I'm like,
No,
but yeah, but it's
crazy. I,
cool though.
I want to hear your opinion, man. And I know for me, I'm always going to be on both all sides of all arguments because I like to see all sides. But from this transfer stuff and what's going on, people talking
Okay,
about
let's get it.
people talking about a lot about the poor. I mean, I think for you, like, and for the Gophers, it was a great scenario, right? You're obviously a positive story with it. I know now, though, a lot of people see it as that wild, wild west. Like, is it? I mean, how
It
do you
did
feel
get crazy.
going
It
on?
did
Is
get crazy.
too much for you? But like, at least just talk about your experience and why you think it was just. It obviously like it was a good setup for you. But you, is there anything you would have changed about it, or talk a little bit about that whole transfer process? Because you lived it, so not too many people really lived it to talk about
Man, like I said, so I transferred a few times in college, and honestly, man, I see it as you're a professional before you're really a professional.
it.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I think a lot of these guys, a lot of these young guys are seeing the game as. But when you look at the LaMelo Balls, and even when you look at the NBA guys who maybe are European guys who are younger but have been playing professionally the whole time, I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of these young guys are seeing the college basketball process as their first professional gig. So that's why moving around, it's like, well, I have to perform as a professional. And that's why a lot of people are moving. So I'll talk about for me, I I I did kind of see it like that. I saw it like I have to make the most of this last year. I got to make the most of it, and then I wanted to go to the tournament. And
Right.
and coming from where I was from, you can have a great year. If you don't win your tournament, it's over. So I'm like, no, I'm like, man, I'm like, I gotta go somewhere. And then even from exposure, and even from a test for me, because I always felt like I was a Big Ten kid. Like I remember Wisconsin games were so important to me because Wisconsin was one of the first schools. Wisconsin and Northwestern was some of the first schools to recruit me, and I'm thinking I'm done, but it's like, okay, so that's why that was big for me. But going back to the transfer thing, I think kids, they're seeing it like it's a professional gig. They're seeing it like
Yeah.
it's professional. I think it helped teams. I like the Gophers, some of the transfer the Gophers get, so I definitely like that part of it. I mean,
Right.
even look at my.
Exactly.
Go ahead. You feel me? Even like Peyton coming back last year. You feel me? Like some
That
of
was
that
dope.
stuff. Like I thought that was great. I thought it was great for him to come back and be with EC. I love that part last year. Um, but because I feel like it's a tough one. I think it's a tough one. I do want there to be some more structure to it. It feel like it's new, so I think it'll get better as it goes, and there'll be some more like structure that they can put in place to help coaches. And I think that's what will help. It'll help everybody, even kids being recruited. The transfer portal affects the high school recruiting class a lot, and I don't think a lot of people understand that part. And that's what we're working with up here with our AAU program. It's a lot of guys. I'm like, you might need a prep year because the
Yeah,
transfer portal right now is so big. You like the high school guys might need a prep year because instead of going to recruit right now, college coaches go say, let me go find a guy that's kind of proven that's not happy with their situation.
right. It's definitely a different game, and it's good to have coaches that can embrace it too, that can get it right. I always used to talk about Hoiberg when he was at Iowa State, like how he used to
Yeah,
have them all,
exactly.
right? Like so now the coaches that used to fight it, they in trouble. The ones that are able to do it, like, and those are the most impressive coaches to me. Guys that can bring in an Akeem Springs for 1 year and understand this is a 3 and D guy. Let's insert him here, here, and here, and make
Mm-hmm.
sure that he maximizes it, right? Like the ones that can bring them together. But yeah, I agree. My nephew, he like a sophomore right now. We've now started to talk through the whole recruiting stuff. And I was like, hey, bro, it's a lot tougher on you than it was on
It's
me.
a
Like you
lot tougher. It's
a
a
high school
lot
kid,
tougher.
17 years old, like that's hard when you got these transfers and all these
Right.
other places they coming from. But no, you touched a little bit though. That was the next person I was gonna bring up. I want to talk a little bit about that Gopher era, in that time. But you talked about EC, you talked about Eric Curry, and like I ain't played with either of y'all, right? But you know, like I mean, I be around. I know the game, and like obviously from your 1 year, I just respected everything that you put out there. Like I was like, oh
Appreciate
yeah,
you.
we needed it. Like you got us. Like we was hurt. We was hurt when you got hurt. I was hurt. But like when it came to EC too, like these last few years, it's the same thing. I never played with him, but it was like I felt like I played with him. I felt like I knew him, bro. You could feel the leadership.
Yeah,
I mean, like
exactly.
what was it when he came through? Because he was young boy back then. Like so, you knew like what you see from him when he was coming in early from Eric Curry.
Honestly, and I know EC ain't gonna hear me. I still want EC to make his jump. I still
Yeah.
want EC to keep hooping because what I saw when he came in, I saw a mellow type guy. I saw a guy, you feel me? I saw mellow and just in workouts and everything, and definitely I saw his work ethic. The thing I was proudest about seeing EC because I did go through that injury was how he led through all of his. I mean, I was man, and I kept in contact with his mom, um, and she would write me sometime when he wasn't doing too well. But just to see him lead, that made me so proud of him. Just because, man, EC's a worker.
Mm.
EC's a guy that puts in work. So to see him get hurt, have to deal with coming all the way back, get hurt. You feel me? Deal with it, deal with it, deal with it. But man, I was proud of him seeing him come back. And like I said, that is resilient. Is resilient. So I love that for him. And I think, man, your leader gotta be resilient. So that's why I think he fit that role of a leader. I think Peyton enjoyed him. You feel me? And I think even the young guys got, you feel me? I think EC was that one who still had the culture. You feel me? I felt like some games I saw him play this year, and it felt like we were watching. My bad for the sun. I felt like He showed some of that grit that made us good those years, and that's what I felt like. Some of that culture was still there. Um, and that's what I felt. I know Ben is like that. I know Ben preaching that for sure. But that's what I felt when I saw EC that last year.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I feel like he carried that all the way through. I mean, he was there a few years, right? But like
Mm-hmm.
y'all, you and EC came right when we left, and like I feel like y'all just that culture that y'all had, it kept going all the way throughout. And EC just now finished and still have a hand on the program. I feel like he's
Exactly.
kind of kept it. You know what I mean? I mean, huge shout out to him, man. All the flowers in the
Man, for
world for real.
sure. For sure.
Like
For sure.
he's he's carried a few regimes when it comes
That's what
to
I'm saying. He done been under like he done been through it. You know,
he
like
didn't do it. And
man.
they've all held him high because you know how it is normally when staffs leave and things happen. Like either
Exactly.
the people leave or they just not see him as that same leader, but he's still been in that same leadership capacity no matter what teammate, no matter what coach, which
Mm-hmm.
is fire. It's definitely fire. It's definitely fire. But yeah, no, you talked about obviously the next person and where we at these days, man. Coach Johnson. So you and I both played for Coach Johnson. I always talked about like him during that time was very guard focused. Right now, it's the
Man,
whole
right?
group, but back then he was very guard focused on us. And I know you coming in. I know how he was with you because we had a dude named Malik Smith who was a similar type of position. Came in shooting 5th year,
Mm-hmm.
hard nosed, stronger than all of
Mm-hmm.
us. You know what I mean? Same type of position. And I
Right.
know Ben was like super influential in Leak's development that one year. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming he was hands on with you, man. But talk a little bit just about kind of how he was during that time, just from a coaching standpoint.
Players coach, and I think that's the one you can tell the ones who hoops. You can feel it.
Yeah,
Even
fact,
even
yeah.
in when they giving you tips, even when they want to get you going, this you can
Mm-hmm.
okay, you can feel a difference. And I think that's the thing about being super cool. I think he got to be a little more outspoken now in his role. But he was,
Mm-hmm.
Ben was the one who cool. He'd get fired up at you. Don't mess up his scout. But you feel me? Don't mess up his scout. Like, come on, man. And he's super cool. So he like so. But no, man, being great one. That's why I said. But players coach, and that's what I got from him. He's easy to talk to about the game. When you're going to him, he can break the game down a little bit different. I feel than some other coaches. I'll say. Um, but players coach, hard nosed, tough.
Yeah.
Um, you can just feel it. Like when he's telling you something, it's like, man, it's like my big brother telling me something because
Right.
he's been in those shoes. He's walked down those same hallways in you, especially for him playing that many. It's it's even more to I know exactly what you're going through. And
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's great from for a player to have somebody there. It's like, no, coach didn't been through this. He didn't have to play, and he's had success at this level. I think that's different.
Yeah, 100%. That's when you said like he know how to motivate you. That's the biggest thing. Like, bro, it's nothing worse when a coach saying something. It's like, yo, it's like now, not the time.
It's
Saying it like that. You know what I mean? Like he know what
like
he know, coach.
that ain't
Like,
getting it done, man. It's like, yeah, for sure.
and I think now too. I think on since you're around that same time, I talk about it all the time. Like we were in a transitional time, like how the athlete is and like how
Okay.
receptive we are to things. You know what I mean? Like so, we had Tubby to start, and like Coach Smith, like it was tough. Coach Smith was hard nosed, old school, but
Old
like
school. That's what I was about to say.
super old school, but he started to kind of lose some guys because like they were on kind of almost that new school type of athlete where it's like, yo, you gotta talk to these kids now a certain way. You gotta like almost
Yeah.
in the middle, right? And I think Ben is in a good position where he can kind of understand that, right? Like where he can
Yeah.
talk to the kid, but he can still bring the teachings that the Tubbies and all his coaches kind of brought him. Like we still gotta have that hard nose, but like with
Right.
social media now, right? You say the wrong thing, boom, 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 you on video and you fired, right? So
Man.
you
Man.
got to be careful. But it's like you can't soften up either, though, bro. Like we gotta get tough. Like we become men in college when it comes to basketball. So it's like, how do you find that medium of being like hard nosed though, still, right? Like making them grow and develop, but also like the kid now is just different, right? We just gotta be real. That's just how it is.
I think, man, and this is some of the work that I'm doing right now with kids. And the thing that I think Ben does well is it's not that you can't be hard nosed. You just have to build that relationship first.
Yep, I like
They
that.
got to know you care about them, and I
Mhm.
think that's what I'm seeing the most. And when you get that from a coach, because the team was tough this year, so when I saw some of the games and I saw them fight back when they were down, sometime I'm like, okay, they tough, and I know what bring that. That don't just happen from picking the right guys. Like some of that's on purpose. You feel me? Um, so I think that's the biggest thing. If you can find a coach, and I think that's what Ben does well, he's able to relate a little bit more so he can build that relationship. And once you have that relationship, we understand, man, we got the same goal in mind. So I even take the discipline and the correction a little bit different.
Yeah, no, agree, 100%. Yeah, I think all the coaches that have been able to talk to me that way, I've had the utmost respect for, and
You
the
feel
ones
me?
that that
that
did or
didn't
one.
really have that relationship. It's like I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
even
they came
hearing you. I'm
new.
not even,
Yeah. The new
yeah,
assistant
legit.
coach is trying to be all hard. I'm like, bro, you haven't even been around. Like, how you gonna be like that, right? Like, you just
Like
came here.
I've been here longer than you, coach. Like
It's that.
it's like
Yeah, the type of feel.
yeah.
Everybody do that. But yeah, Ben definitely. Yeah, he's definitely that type of guy. You right. He can grow that trust, and I feel like that trust and that credibility starts with him hooping. Like you said, like he
I'll
hoops
ask you
there.
a question though. His staff, they got the one coach that's from Mini, and he's
Hmm.
won a lot in Mini, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I think we have one. You talking about Coach Thorson?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So he was at De La Salle, and so he won
right.
a lot of championships there. And he went out to Colorado State and was on that staff for a little bit and did well.
Okay.
I just saw him in the airport recruiting the other day. Actually, he was on his way to Phoenix to Section 7. But yeah, cool guy. He's got that's important to me. Like how important it was. Like getting caught was very important for y'all. Like during my time, like a lot of Minnesota dudes, it was like it's built now, but the
It
pipeline.
wasn't just cough. We got Mike hurt that year too.
Oh yeah,
You
exactly,
feel
exactly.
me? Like, and Mike was a big deal. Like coming around, Mike was a big deal, right?
No,
You're like, so
for
yeah.
sure.
But go ahead though.
I was just gonna say, so yeah, having him as an assistant coach now is huge.
Yeah.
From a Minnesota standpoint, like stuff was it's something in the water in Minnesota when it comes to hoop, like the local prep scene. I try to tell people in other states they don't believe it. I'm like, all right, bro, you see some of these draft picks. That's what they was around during that time. Like it's some hoopers up there.
That's what I think. I like that for Koff. I like seeing Koff getting going. I'm happy. I feel like him too, man. I feel like you can just see the maturity in him, man. And that's what I felt like I could see with EC. So it's kind of like Big Brother looking at them sometimes, man. Just being able to see their maturity from him. I just know Koff, and I know how much he want to play. So seeing him dealing with the development process and then being ready when he got his call, I'm like that man. That's huge. I'm like that's huge. I was excited to see that. Definitely excited to see that. But and that's what I think. Going to Ben, I think that he helps take over that Minnesota market. And I think that a lot of basketball programs gonna have to start doing that, especially with the transfer program. You're gonna have to sell the fact you can play at home. I'm
Yeah,
like, that's what I'm thinking with so much going on. That was my next thought. I'm like, okay, so what college coach is gonna be able to start saying then? Every coach, they got the NLI thing, so you feel me? Like, okay, you're gonna have different situations with that. I think it's gonna come down to coaches being able to convince their talent, like an older time of basketball. You feel me? They got to convince the in-state guys to stay.
yeah, agree, 100%. Like you said, Ben can be the one to keep that
Right.
home, but selling them to keep them home, that is this NIL stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's definitely
Did you
crazy.
catch some games this year? How were they with the like restrictions and stuff like that?
As far as like going to the games,
I'm saying as far as like fan support.
oh no, I mean the support's still definitely there, hundred
Yeah,
percent. Is that I feel like Minnesota we were just talking about it's different when it comes to there. Like people be
fans
it
love.
there's always love. There's always love. So it's definitely there, and I think like you said, Ben Johnson, like
Right,
it's not just the players. It's the fans. Like
right. That's real.
played there. Like you said, he's played there, and it's good to rally around somebody that's played there. And even from an alumni perspective, it's almost like, yo, technically, that
Right,
means he's really one of us. Like he coached
right,
us, he's really one of us because he's an alum at the end of the
right,
day. So
right.
we always gotta go for our own for that. Like I think we all should have first dibs. Like anytime something's coming down the line, this should be somebody that wore the maroon and gold. Like I think it always should be this way.
No, I definitely agree, man. I definitely agree, and I just appreciate the Gophers, man. I was there for a year, but just the love and the relationships that I built in my time there, it was huge. It was huge. And even like this, man, with the Dunkers always stay connected. Keith is big, always tapping in. I love that, man. And it really feel like a family. And that's what I said, man, that's what I feel like I got from many, even from the fans. And so when you talk about the fan support, excuse me, that was big in my decision. It's like,
Yeah.
man, I felt like I don't know. I ain't never been in Minnesota, but it just feel like home up here. It feel close. It feel like like I said, with players being able to take coaching, it felt like they cared, and it's like, man, definitely I think that players get that from being. I think that was a big part of what made EC come back, because it's like, it's hard. When I think about his process and making that decision after he said he wasn't, after you say you ain't gonna do it, it's 10 times harder after that, man. So I think that even speak to the relationship that Ben can have with him.
It's yeah, it's I think it's hard to explain. Like I don't like it's not gonna be I don't think there's that many guys that can just flat out say like, yeah, man, I just don't like him. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right,
just
right, 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 right. No, I don't mess with Ben.
exactly.
Room would be like, wait, what?
Right, exactly, and I think people like forget like that little stuff matter. Like we talk about the whole recruit process and the big picture, but the little picture matter. Like the what's the big homie say, or what's the neighborhood dude say, or what's the dude say. Like oh yeah, like yeah, I was with him. Like nah, don't mess with him. Or, like yeah, my homie played for him. Or yeah, my coach used to he went on a visit with him. Don't mess with him. Like all that stuff,
That's
how
real
it
though.
is. That this hoop community, it's a lot of gossip. It's a lot of gossip. Well, I think we lost Akeem for a second there. See if we pop back on. But no, we can wait for a little bit until Akeem pops on here. But Akeem Springs here, Golden Dunkers Live 2016 with Coach Patino. Akeem, I mean, sounds like he's doing some great stuff, and it's dope to hear the insight from playing for Coach Johnson, as well as playing with guys like Eric Carter and Amir Coffey, who's in the league now. So dope just to hear from Akeem and be a part of this. Let's see if Akeem's gonna jump back on here. Hopefully he does soon. Thank you everybody still for watching, waiting for Akeem to jump back on. Looks like we had just a network failure there. Everybody knows how that goes these days. Jump into the comments here. Remember watching EC? Yeah, everybody remembers watching Eric Carter. That's what Eric Carter did for the Gophers, man, and what he's continuing to do for the Gophers. I think I tweeted in the past. Eric Carter literally is Gopher royalty. Um, Speaking on behalf of all of them, that's just what he is. Bet was good.
My bad, man.
Oh, you good? You want to be popped back on? I was
We
just
back.
checking that
All
in.
right, cool. That wasn't too long, was it? Two
No,
minutes,
no,
maybe.
6 seconds. I was
Okay,
tapped
cool.
in. So no, yeah. I mean, really, we were just good timing. I guess we were wrapping up just about Amir, and just his thoughts. I was just gonna say. I mean, like you were saying, Amir's like always been the consummate professional in my eyes. So it's like when he did get that call up, it's almost like you knew he was gonna be ready. Like you said, he was.
Exactly.
You came in.
Exactly. No, I knew he was gonna be ready. Super confident always, man, and that's what I saw even his freshman year. And I felt like it was times where he might have doubted a little bit his freshman year, but I think sophomore year he showed it more. But super confident, and he deserved it. Again, a worker. I love the guys who's willing to put the work in, man. I think that's
Yeah,
what made. Go ahead.
yeah. No, keep on. I want you to finish that.
But I think that's what made us so good that year, man. Is that and definitely that was my thing. I was working because I'm like, I understand. Like I had been through it enough and had not reached my goal enough times to know that, hey man, you're gonna have to work. You're gonna have to work.
Yeah,
So I love to see that. I love to see the guys that work. Going back to EC, I know Parker just got injured. And I think that EC is a great one to be with him and just to, mentally help him through this kind of situation. He's been on my mind a little bit. Parker, as seeing his injury, because I was excited to see him play for the Gophers. Like kind of talking about the current team. I was excited to see him play. Um, so I think that, man, just EC is going to be a big part of helping him out too.
Yeah, I agree, and that's terrible. It was terrible to hear about Parker, but I
Hmm.
think you're exactly right. Like looking back on it, he understands like what you gotta look for, what you should be doing
Hmm.
from a mental standpoint, what type of breaks you should be doing, what type of stuff you need to be working on, all that type
Right.
of stuff. So no, he'll be huge for me. Yeah, I was saying like EC is like go for royalty to me, man. Like he of
For sure.
everybody done so much. I feel like for so many in the program, he's been such a good symbol of the program. You know what I mean?
For
Like
sure. For sure.
he's done a lot. He done a lot from that standpoint. But no, I know we're wrapping up on time here. I want to talk, just circle back to that first question about what you got going on right now, man. I know you're doing a lot. Speaking of all the work they've been putting in, I know you got nothing but work that you've been talking a lot about. Springs Academy, NTV TV, all this stuff. Can you explain just a little bit to everybody just what's going on with your brand, how it all comes together, and where you're at with stuff right now, just so everybody can figure out, how we can help and how everybody, the community can help and get behind it. Because I feel like as a collective, we need to start amplifying everybody and all the different Gopher alums and what we're doing, across the country just to show the impact that we have, not just in Minneapolis and Twin Cities, but honestly everywhere.
Yeah, man, and I'm definitely because I'm in Big Ten country. I see all the Illinois and then all our my AAU teams and stuff like that. Springs Prep, they got to see these Gopher colors, so I know they'd be mad. But so what we got? Nothing but work. That's the brand, and my vision is that I can create a resilient mentality in those that I work with, working with different schools, different programs. I was actually able to speak to the Gophers and other college programs already. And that's just what I see. Even with coming out of COVID, seeing so many deal with mental health issues, the nothing but work thing is about resiliency. And so creating different camps, like I said, programs. We had our big summer camp for the kids. We've had different basketball camps. So yeah, just doing different stuff like that. One of the things that I took from one of my professors at my time at Mini was in my youth development. He said that there's no age to youth. And so it's really important to me to get those 18 to 26 year olds right now that might be dealing with mental health issues and help them to develop a resilient mentality, help them deal with some of the things that they might face. And obviously the youth. So that's nothing but work. That's my mission with nothing but work, man. It's all about resiliency, helping people get through the natural struggles in life. With that, we have Springs Prep Academy. That's my academy. That's my prep school. Many, if y'all need some, if y'all got some guys that y'all need to prep for a year, send them to me. I get them right. No, we gonna work with them. I'm gonna talk to Ben Johnson about this too. But anyway, so that's the prep school, man. And I've always been, or my passion when I got to Mini and the youth development program was to create a kind of environment that develops student athletes no matter what sport they play, no matter what they're into. And it's a holistic approach to it, trying different things, focus more on mentoring our athletes, our student athletes, focused on mentoring them. Because again, I do see a lot of kids that deal with mental health issues. And in my community, we see a lot of kids that go the wrong way. So I'm like, what can I do in the time that I have them that might prevent them from making some decisions that could take their life in the wrong direction? I had a lot of players that I grew up playing high school with that I spent some time in jail. And seeing some of the young guys and some of the stuff that they deal with around here, it is a lot of distractions for them. So, man, I'm just trying to create an environment at Springs Prep that can um, that can help impact them, that can help develop them, man. And like I said, holistic. I'm about developing leaders. So I feel like the student athletes, you have a natural leadership platform because everybody's coming to see you play, even in high school. And high school athletics is big here, like I know it is in many and everywhere really. But that's what it is with Springs Prep Academy. Um, Yeah, that's what it is, man. Just giving my kids around here another option. They got the public school option, and I think that's cool. And I'm coming up with programs. Nothing but work is coming up with mentoring programs for my school system. But Springs Prep, I feel like, is the thing that I get to have my hand on, and that's the legacy that I feel like I get to leave. Really, with Springs Prep, that's my family. My family's involved with that. I'm excited to see that grow. I'm excited to see that grow. Right now, we're in the process of just seeking different donations because I wanted to make it most um, cost. I wanted to make the cost. I want to get the cost down as much as possible for parents. I know some of the situations they're dealing with, so that's what we're doing right now, man. Just fundraising a lot, raising money for the kids, being able to provide a different opportunity for them and show them different things. So that's my big off the court project is Springs Prep Academy right now. Then it goes along with the brand, just develop, man, a resilient mind. That's what we after right now. But with nothing but work, I use that for some of the kids I mentor right now to show them to keep them updated with my process. I feel that I know they struggle with motivation sometimes, so I use my brand page, my Nothing But Work TV page, to post some of my workouts. I post some motivational quotes on there, different contracts I get. I'll show them some behind the scenes stuff on that. Nutrition stuff. I know some of my athletes. I dealt with injuries in college, so I try to help them out with the nutrition and things like that. But that's really what I'm doing is consulting for adults and it's mentoring for kids, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. No, that's
Yep.
what's up.
Yep.
So I think Springs Academy, can people go to it? How can people support it or just follow along to the updates for that right now?
So Springs Prep Academy, social media is Springs Prep Academy, Springs Prep Academy on springsprepacademy.com or I hope it's .com. Yeah, springsprepacademy.com. Just tap in. But right now, if anybody's looking to donate or support, man, go to nothing but NBWERK.com. Go to the donate tab, man. All of the proceeds from that, man. Anything I get in donations go to helping the kids. We have a Saturday session right now where we're meeting with the kids. We take them to one of the coffee spots downtown, and we just talk about everything that's going on right now. We got a nice group, and so that's what we're doing right now. We're getting ready for our AAU kids to take a trip to nationals. Um, so that's what we're working on right now, man. If anybody wants to support, NBWERK.com. It's a donate tab on there, and if you just want to stay in touch, definitely social media. My social media is Prince. Nothingbutwork.com. I mean, Nothing But Work TV on Instagram. Springs Prep on Instagram, and yeah, you'll be able to stay in touch.
Awesome, yeah, that's what's up. That's a lot of different avenues. So ain't nobody got any excuse, but we'll be making sure to promote it. I'll have Golden Dunks, so everybody promote it on different pages too. But yeah, there that's dope. And I think everything you were saying, man, like these kids, it's tough right now through the pandemic, through social media in
Mm-hmm.
general, and the natural evolution of what it is. It's tough being an athlete right now. It was already hard. I think
Yeah,
I wouldn't say we didn't have the proper resources, right? And
for
now
real.
like life has moved way bigger than back when we was there, and a lot of the resources
Right,
still
right,
ain't in place,
right,
right? Like mental health been a thing, but now it's just way worse because we got social and we got just life that's happened, the pandemic, everything else is going on in the world. So it's just like, man, like we got to let these kids understand like how you keep them understand the main thing is the main thing, but also understanding, like you said, bro, like everything else outside of basketball, not just basketball, like the whole holistic approach is huge.
right.
I think a lot of dudes lose their identity because they only see their identity through basketball. And then once basketball over, it's like, shh, what's good? What's good now? Or if they do bad, if they perform well, it's like
I don't know
I'm
if
gonna
you
have
heard about
a shot.
played in the Big Ten. I don't know if you heard about Caleb Swanigan.
Yeah, I did. We played. Yeah, we played against them.
Right, we played Biggie. So we played him when he was at Purdue, and he was actually with me my first year in Cleveland. When I was with the Charge, he was actually there with me then. But so man, yeah, definitely just seeing that, and I think that we're talking about mental health more, and I think that we can pinpoint it now, or we are pinpointing it now, so we know that there's something that needs to be worked on. But I feel like now that we know it's a problem, the problem's even bigger now.
Exactly. So it's
it's
like,
like right. So I think the kids have a tough. I think it's tough for kids. So I think that I know Al Nolan. I actually did my first camp with Al Nolan back in Mini. Right when I
mm,
left, I know he. I remember he was working with kids, and I get excited about that because I know that the kids they need a lot of resources, like you said. It's a lot of people. I mean, it's a lot of kids out there. So who's ever motivated to do something for the kids, I think that it's definitely the time because they need so much right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. So
Mm-hmm.
all good, man. I think there's a lot we can do. They need us, and I think in all the different cities and areas that we can represent, and every kid you touch it matters. Like at the end of the day, if you can
Yeah.
touch one kid, we made that difference. So hopefully we can get support and keep pushing everything you're doing. But no, best of luck, man, with everything you got going on from that standpoint. At the end of the day, you trying to hoop right now.
For sure.
You trying to get that
For
next
sure.
contract. So
Listen,
shoot, let's
man.
you keep the main thing.
Gopher alums. We got some Gopher alums that's associated with NBA organizations. Reach out. Tell them to look at the film. That's all. Tell them to take the agent. I'm just playing, but not for real. Um, but no, definitely trying to play right now. That's what we focused on right now, man. Hooping. And it's a big part for me, man. You know, I know LeBron playing at 40, and that'd be great. But you know, right now we hooping. I put in a lot of work in it. Developing my game. That's what's important right now. Um, and even for like the guys that's coming under me, that look up to me, just seeing me keep pushing. I know that motivated a lot of them too. So I'm excited about it.
Awesome. That's what's up, man. No, yeah, best of luck. We know you can still hoop. You know you're gonna get that
For sure.
opportunity. So yeah, any Gopher alums that got the plug, we know it's a lot of them.
That's what I'm saying,
Somebody's going
man. We got some.
to put it out there.
I've been getting ready though. It's all the time that the time that it's been spent has not been wasted. And even with me being able to develop Springs prep and stuff like that, you know, I wouldn't trade that. I wouldn't trade that. But I just know it's time now. So that's what it is, man.
For sure, definitely. Well, no, man, appreciate you, Akeem. Appreciate your time. Best of luck. Great updates. I know you got so much going on, man, and we'll probably circle back same time next year. So
Man, looking
appreciate your
forward
time.
to it. Appreciate you, Ken.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man, just from being around the program, man. Whenever I saw you, I think I saw you in the gym a couple times when I was there. Just pop your head in. Appreciate you what you do for the guys that's coming in, for the alums, just keeping us all connected, man. I appreciate you for sure.
No, yeah, for sure. Like I said, there's a lot that we can all do together. I'm still trying to connect the dots, but from an alumni
Yeah,
perspective, we spread out too much, and we way better together. So it's something where we can figure out how to still be across the country, but work
for
together to
sure.
amplify what we're doing. But
For sure.
it's a lot of talent now, so I appreciate that. But no, I appreciate everybody for listening. Another episode of Golden Dunkers Live. We'll have a few more episodes coming up this next month. But appreciate you, Akeem. And then hopefully Coach Johnson is out recruiting this next class for his national championship right now.
Sky you, ma. Appreciate you,
Yes.
Gopher fans, man. Appreciate the Gophers. Appreciate the Golden Dunkers always. Love.
Yeah, big shout out Golden Dunker. Shout out to everybody here. Appreciate
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.